Have you ever noticed how excess has a quiet way of emptying you from the inside out? Even when everything seems clean and organized around you, something still feels heavy. It's like there's a subtle noise in the back of your head, an unease that doesn't go away even in silence. And it's not just about what's outside, it's in here. It's that emotional clutter that no one sees. You try to adjust, make more conscious choices, but every now and then, you lose yourself. Peace becomes a distant goal. Clarity, a beautiful word. Freedom, a postponed desire. But what if you were told that maybe you're trying to simplify the wrong place? That the problem isn't the things, but what those things prevent you from feeling? Japanese minimalism isn't about having less. It's about reconnecting with the essential, not the world's essential. Yours. But there are habits you might be repeating without realizing it. Small, silent actions that distance you from what really matters. That confuse your routine, disrupt your emotions, and keep you trapped in a cycle that looks clean on the outside, but suffocates on the inside. Can you identify them? Or have you normalized this feeling of always carrying something invisible? Maybe now is the time to look more calmly, without formulas, without promises, just with presence. You don't need another to-do list, nor techniques, nor another method. You didn't get here because you want to learn how to fold towels or reorganize drawers. You're looking for what can't be seen. You're trying to hear what the noise has been silencing for too long. And what weighs you down the most isn't always what's out of place. Sometimes it's what you carry inside for so long that you don't even notice it anymore. They are small habits that seem harmless but take up space, physical, emotional, mental. And the more you try to fix the outside, the more disconnected you become on the inside. It's not just about discipline, it's about intention, about knowing why you keep what you keep, why you repeat what you repeat, why you still can't make space, even though you want to breathe. Have you noticed how difficult it is to sustain silence? How it forces you to feel everything you avoid? Japanese minimalism is born from that, from the space between things, from the interval between noises, from a place where you don't need to have so much or be so much. But what prevents you from living that today? Do you pressure yourself? Do you compare yourself? Do you expect an ideal version of yourself that never comes, and with that, ignore the beauty of now? While you try to be someone cleaner, lighter, more zen, perhaps you're forgetting the simplest thing. Nothing needs to be perfect. It just needs to be true. Wabi-sabi shows you that. Beauty in imperfection. Value in what ages, in what fails, in what doesn't try to be anything other than what it is. But you still accumulate, even if you don't realize it. Objects, yes, but also expectations, demands, silences that hurt, routines that no longer touch you. Why do you keep what no longer serves you? Is it fear? Is it attachment? Is it the idea that one day you will use it, you will need it, it will make sense? Motainai speaks of that, of the pain of waste, but also of gratitude. Gratitude for what is already here, for what has already been useful. For what can now follow another path? Can you give thanks before letting go? Or are you still stuck in control, in the illusion that everything needs to have a rational reason, a clear utility, a justification for leaving? Danshari doesn't ask for explanations, only presence. You observe, accept, release, and in that gesture, something inside you changes. Not loudly, not suddenly, but like someone who opens a window and lets the air in. Do you feel it? This call for lightness that doesn't come from the outside. This desire to empty, not just the house, but the chest. But then comes the doubt. Where to start? Maybe the problem isn't starting. Maybe the problem is maintaining, persisting when no one is watching, creating routine where there was only impulse, putting intention in every gesture. Because in Japan, minimalism is not an event. It is daily practice. It is attention to detail, to time, to the rhythm of things. Do you have that time? Or do you still live on autopilot, trying to fit peace into a busy schedule? Japanese minimalism is about what stays, and also mainly about what doesn't stay. It's about the space, the pause, the unfilled. Can you withstand the emptiness? Or do you try to cover it with occupations, distractions, promises that next week will be better? Maybe the emptiness scares you, but it is there that you find yourself. It is there that the silence that heals lives, the clarity that doesn't come from answers, but from presence. Freedom that is not doing everything, but being able to choose what not to do. Do you really need everything you have? Or are you trying to protect yourself from what you feel, using what you possess? When was the last time you felt calm, just for existing, without needing to do anything, show anything, achieve anything? Do you allow yourself that? Or do you live chasing a tranquility that requires the opposite, to stop? The Japanese path doesn't push you, it invites you, with gentleness, with firmness too, with the silence of the early mornings, the smell of dry tatami, the sound of the wind between paper doors. Have you heard that kind of silence? Not the silence of someone who is silent out of exhaustion, but that of someone who chooses to be there, whole, even without saying anything. That is spirituality in motion. It doesn't need an altar, nor dogma, just space. Space for life to pass, for the soul to breathe, for the body to feel without haste. But for that, you need to get out of excess. And I'm not talking about excess of things. I'm talking about excess of self, of thoughts, of mental images, of comparisons with people who aren't even part of your life. Do you pressure yourself too much? Do you try to reach an ideal that may not even have come from you? What if I told you that the first step is not to take anything out of place? It's just to sit down and look, without haste, without intention to fix. Japan teaches that in everyday life. In the tea prepared calmly, in the cleaning done in silence, in the way objects are treated with care, with respect, with detachment. Do you respect what you have? Or do you just accumulate without looking, without touching, without saying goodbye? Each object tells a story, but you don't need to live them all. You can choose. You can live with little and feel more. You can clean without haste and find yourself in the gesture. You can stop and still advance, but for that you need to let go of the habit of running, the addiction of filling every second, the urgency of seeming organized when inside you are in ruins. You need order, but not just any order, the one that is born from meaning, from what really matters. Do you know what really matters? Or are you still trying to guess based on what others seem to live? You can stop right now, look around and see what here speaks to my soul, what here imprisons me. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be willing to listen, because the answer doesn't shout, it whispers, and you will only hear when you are in silence. Did you hear that whisper? That almost nothing that appears when you simply stop. Not the noise of the world, not the sound of routine, not the weight of haste. It's the sound of what you really feel when you're not busy trying to be something else. Have you stopped enough to recognize yourself? Or do you just keep doing, repeating, maintaining an order that you don't even know if it still makes sense to you? In Japanese minimalism, there is no room for this haste. It's not a race. It's not to prove that you are capable. It's to return to yourself with care, with intention, and then comes clarity, but not the one that comes from planning everything. It's a clarity that is revealed in the simple, in the way you fold a cloth, in the way you clean the floor, in the look you give to what no longer serves you, and yet you still keep. Why don't you let go? You say you want freedom, but you live trapped in small habits that drain you. Don't you realize that you have built a prison made of excesses, of things, of tasks, of ideas about who you should be? Japanese minimalism doesn't shout. It empties you in such a subtle way that when you see it, you are already breathing differently, with less tension, less effort, more space inside. But it's not automatic. It's not light just because it's beautiful. There is a confrontation there, with everything you don't want to give up, with everything you said you would use one day, with the guilt you feel for letting go, with the fear of lacking. Do you feel that too? That fear of letting go, even knowing that it's past time? This is where the sense of presence comes in. When you clean, are you really cleaning, or just dusting on top? Japan teaches to touch things with respect, to wash a cup with attention, to fold clothes without haste. Not to live in function of the next task, but to be whole in the one that is being done. Can you do that? Or are you already in the next obligation before even finishing the first? The inner peace you seek will not appear as a sudden relief. It will emerge little by little, in the way you slow down, in your choice not to accumulate, in the awareness that consuming less is often feeling more. But do you allow yourself to feel? Or do you anesthetize with distractions? With that purchase that gives you pleasure for a few minutes? With that organization that distances you more from your internal chaos than it brings you closer? Minimalism is choice. But before choosing what stays, you need to know who you are without all this. And that's scary. Because when you strip yourself of excess, only you remain, you with your silences, with your emptiness, with your fears that were muffled under piles of useful things. Can you sustain that mirror? It is there that clarity appears, not as an absolute certainty, but as a breath, a sign, a feeling of lightness that doesn't depend on anything else to happen. Shibumi speaks of that, of a discrete beauty that doesn't need to show itself, that doesn't try to be anything, it just is, with depth, with presence, with truth. Have you allowed yourself to be like that? Or are you still trying to seem minimalist, while inside everything remains cluttered? The transformation is not on the surface, it is in the intention you put in simple gestures. In the way you look at an empty corner and don't feel the need to fill it. Can you withstand that emptiness? Or does it bother you because it reveals what you have been avoiding? The spiritual freedom you seek doesn't come with forced detachment. It comes with recognition. It comes when you understand that what holds you back is not the things, but the way you relate to them. Have you ever asked yourself what in fact has meaning for you? Maybe you have never stopped to listen, because listening takes time, and it takes silence, and you were taught to run away from that. But there is a peace that is only born in silence, a clarity that only appears when you stop fighting, when you stop running, when you realize that everything is here. It just needed space to emerge. Do you allow yourself that space, or do you live filling life as if it were a closet that always needs another shelf? You don't need to fill everything, nor know everything, nor have everything ready. Minimalism is not about eliminating. It's about being whole in the little that remains. About discovering how much you already have when you start letting go of what you no longer need. Do you trust this process? Or do you still need to see results to believe that it works? Because on the Japanese path, the result doesn't come before practice. The transformation comes from the silent habit, from the gesture that is repeated, from the choice that is confirmed in everyday life. What do you choose every day? To repeat the noise or to build silence? You can choose differently. You don't need permission. You don't need technique. You just need presence. If after all this you still feel that something is missing, maybe what is missing is just silence, but not this external artificial silence full of disguised distractions. It's the other, the one that only appears when you decide to stop running away. Are you really willing to live lighter, or are you still waiting for an ideal moment? Because there will be no perfect scenario. There will be no warning. It will be just you, in front of everything you have built, and what you still insist on holding on to. Look around calmly. See what still weighs. See what has already lost meaning. See what is there just to occupy. And ask yourself without haste, do I need this? You can start small. You can choose a corner. You can create your routine of detachment. You can make silence a habit. But you need to be whole. You need to really want it. If you have come this far, don't ignore what you feel. Don't sabotage the discomfort that insists on returning. And if you feel it, it's because you're already ready to go deeper. So go, your way, in your time. But go. Don't wait for the excess to win again. Don't get distracted by what takes you away from the essence. You know the way, and now it is you who chooses whether to walk or not. Share this blessed video so that it can touch and help other people like you and me. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for being part of our faith community. If you would like to support our channel a little more, consider becoming a member of our channel. I leave here 2 more videos so that you can continue your search. Thank you and God bless you all. See you later.